The fiery activist who devoted her life to fighting for women's rights. Meet Alice Paul. Born to a prominent Quaker family in Mount Laurel, New Jersey in 1885, Alice grew up attending suffrage meetings with her mother, Tacy. After earning her master's degree in sociology from the University of Pennsylvania in 1907, she moved to England to continue her studies. She quickly connected with Britain's rowdy suffragist movement, joining street protests, committing acts of civil disobedience, and even getting arrested for demanding the right to vote. When she returned to America, Alice was determined to bring that energy home. Working with the National American Woman Suffrage Association, she organized a march in Washington, D.C. in 1913 that attracted thousands. Alice believed that lobbying Congress would be the most effective way to win the vote. So in 1916, she formed the National Women's Party with the goal of amending the Constitution. In January 1917, the party took on President Woodrow Wilson, announcing they would begin daily protests outside the White House. The peaceful protesters were met with constant harassment and frequent arrests, but the suffragettes kept showing up. By the fall, dozens of women were imprisoned. Alice, on a hunger strike, endured brutal force feedings. Others were beaten. Faced with a public outcry, federal authorities released the prisoners in late November, and in January 1918, President Wilson urged Congress to pass the suffrage amendment. By 1919, it had been approved by both the House and the Senate, and after state ratification on August 18, 1920, the 19th Amendment became law. Women had finally won the right to vote. Alice moved on to her next challenge, passage of the Equal Rights Amendment, which she wrote herself.
Men and women shall have equal rights throughout the United States and every place subject to its jurisdiction.
The ERA faced strong opposition, and some thought it might even undermine existing protections for women. After being introduced in 1923, it took nearly 50 years for the ERA to pass through Congress, but Alice refused to give up. Alice died in 1977 as the ERA was being voted on by the states, a battle that continues today. In 2020, Virginia became the 38th state to ratify the ERA, almost 100 years after Alice first proposed it. Alice Paul, a lifelong crusader for gender equality.